Infection prevention and control risks in the healthcare built environment for engineering services. This toolbox talk will outline best practices to be implemented to enhance infection prevention and control (IPC) safety during the construction or refurbishment of a healthcare facility. The importance of IPC in healthcare construction and refurbishment projects cannot be underestimated, and construction teams have an important role to play in this, as infrastructure is a key pillar supporting the principal aim of promoting improved safety, standards of care, and well-being for patients. IPC risks should be identified and evaluated in the planning stages of any project, and these should be mitigated through the application of infection control measures before the work proceeds. Practice and behaviours are important for everyone involved at all stages of a construction or refurbishment project to reduce the risk of infection to patients who will occupy the area and utilise the services within it. The learning objectives are to describe the IPC risks associated with construction and refurbishment of healthcare facilities, understanding how and why these risks occur, identify what actions can be taken to mitigate these IPC risks, and apply knowledge regarding best practices that will enhance the safety of healthcare service users, staff, and the wider public accessing healthcare facilities. Scottish Health Technical Memoranda (SHTM) provide advice and guidance on the design, installation, commissioning, and operation of specialised building and engineering technology used in the delivery of healthcare. They are applicable to new and existing healthcare facilities and are for use at various stages during a building's life cycle. Contractors and operatives should be aware of and understand any special requirements in the installation of ventilation, water, plumbing, drainage, and medical gas systems in the healthcare built environment. For example, some clinical rooms may require specialist ventilation, maintaining either positive or negative air pressure to prevent infection risk. The Health and Safety at Work Act 1974 places a duty upon organisations to ensure, so far as is reasonably practicable, the health, safety, and welfare of those affected by their work activities. This includes staff, visitors, and patients. This duty also encompasses compliance with legal obligations under the Construction, Design and Management Regulations 2015, CDM 2015. In NHS Scotland, a health board's control of contractors and site management policy aims to provide information and guidance which ensures safe and effective working practices that comply with statutory requirements and contracted obligations. Evidence which demonstrates that contractors and operatives have the skills, knowledge, training, and experience to carry out the work safely should be requested by the Health Board. A project-specific construction phase plan is required before any construction work begins. Working together and noting key points will assist in the planning and organisation of a project, ensuring that the work is carried out without risks to health and safety. It will also help to comply with CDM 2015. The Health and Safety Executive, HSE, outlines the legal duties and responsibilities on employers and employees in relation to PPE at work. Operatives' workwear should be applied and removed on site at the beginning and end of each shift. All items of PPE should be compatible when worn together to ensure adequate protection, kept well maintained, and replaced immediately if they become damaged or contaminated with hazardous chemicals. Dust should be cleaned off reusable workwear using a HEPA vacuum cleaner before leaving the worksite. Do not take food into work areas. All food should be consumed in designated welfare areas. Where drinks are consumed on site, containers must be discarded of appropriately. Food waste can attract pests, vermin, and rodents. Animals can carry and spread diseases which could contaminate construction materials and the healthcare environment if they are able to encounter it. Contamination of healthcare environments and materials within them can be a serious hazard and present an infection risk for vulnerable patients who may later come into contact with them. Where external work is being carried out, building and structural openings should be secured and sealed to prevent animal and pest entry. It's important to reduce patient, staff and visitor exposure to hazards when working in a live healthcare environment. Scottish Health Facilities Note 30, SHFN 30, provides a series of best practice guidance documents including the HAI Scribe process. HAI Scribe aims to manage infection risks using a prevention and control of infection questionnaire. These guidance documents provide built environment, infection prevention and control information for healthcare project teams, which help identify, manage and record risks. The project team and contributors from the various disciplines involved will take different advice from the guidance throughout the varying stages of a project. Some of the key hazards and associated risks to consider when working in a healthcare environment are air quality. Dust from demolition, construction and refurbishment activities can lead to respiratory irritation or infection. Water quality. Filling a new water system too early or undertaking work on an existing system without the appropriate IPC controls increases the risk of germ contamination. Noise pollution, which can cause disruption to patient rest and increase stress and anxiety. Disruption. Changes to routine patient care activity and access. Physical safety. Risks in a work site. Debris, surfaces and materials that could cause injury if left accessible. Fungi, such as Aspergillus, are naturally present in the environment. Their numbers can increase where large amounts of dust are generated, creating a hazard for vulnerable patients within a live healthcare environment. Under certain circumstances, this could become an infection risk and potentially result in a life-threatening illness. Building and service user adjacencies and any associated risks should be considered and addressed before any work begins. Measures that may be implemented within a live healthcare environment to mitigate dust-related hazards include separation of workflows to protect people, the environment and any equipment within it, sealed removal of waste, use of temporary containment barriers, tack mats and/or sealing of doors and windows, use of portable HEPA-filtered air scrubbers or extractors to capture airborne particles during work, maintaining negative air pressure within work zones to prevent dust movement into clinical areas, and regular cleaning of work areas to prevent the spread of dust particles. Monitoring of implemented control measures will be required throughout construction or refurbishment. Tools used on site should be visibly clean, well maintained, and stored appropriately, protected from contamination and deterioration. Even if tools don't appear visibly dirty, they can still harbour germs which could then transfer to materials for installation or the healthcare environment. The contractor, along with the project team, will determine products and methods for cleaning at different stages of the project. Designated cutting areas and dust extraction devices should be utilised where appropriate, and work areas should be cleaned at least daily. Protective measures should be taken before and during systems installation. It is important to remember that you are working in an environment that may be used to care for vulnerable patients. A high standard of cleanliness should be maintained throughout all stages. On delivery to site, equipment and associated materials should be inspected for cleanliness and any signs of damage. Pipe should be stored carefully in racks and kept protected in a clean, dry condition until used in the pipework system. Unprotected ductwork can lead to damage and increase the risk of germ contamination. If the ventilation system is contaminated, the air supplied by it could be harmful to vulnerable patients. Other fixtures and fittings should also be protected and stored in clean and dry conditions until ready for use. Damage to the structure of fixtures can make effective cleaning difficult once the items are in use. Prior to installation, the installer should examine each item carefully to ensure that it is not damaged, is clean, and free from dirt or contamination. In healthcare settings, any harmful germ that grows in the environment, water, or ventilation systems can be a serious risk to the building and the people inside. Ventilation systems could be a source of contamination if ductwork is not sealed, internally and externally, appropriately protected, or is damaged. Unsealed or damaged ductwork may result in ineffective air filtration, which could lead to the introduction of contaminants that may then be distributed via the ventilation system, potentially exposing patients, staff, and visitors. Animal and pest entry is possible where appropriate protection is not in place. Leaks in ductwork can create ideal conditions for the growth of germs. These germs may then be transmitted via the ventilation system. Improperly sealed ducts can disrupt the pressure balance between areas, which may lead to inappropriate mixing of air. All parts of the air handling unit, AHU, should be easily and safely accessible for routine inspection, service, and maintenance. During refurbishment or maintenance works, water and ventilation systems should be protected or temporarily isolated to prevent the introduction and spread of environmental contaminants. Inlets and outlets within the healthcare environment should be protected during any construction or refurbishment works to reduce the risk of system contamination with dirt, dust, or moisture, and in some cases, to prevent pest entry. Temporary caps should be applied to all open ends of pipework during installation to protect the systems from dirt or contamination. Water outlets can present a risk in healthcare settings. A tap positioned directly above a drain increases the risk of splashing and therefore potential contamination of surrounding surfaces. Water flowing from the tap should not be able to flow directly into the drain. Fixtures such as sanitary ware should not be used to dispose of material cut-offs or other debris. Foreign objects within pipes can cause a blockage or trap other debris, which could then build up and act as a food source and support the growth of germs. Contamination of a healthcare water system is a significant risk for vulnerable patients who will receive or come into contact with water from these outlets later. No waste or fluid of any type should be disposed of into any internal sinks or sanitary ware during construction or refurbishment works. Designated welfare facilities should be provided and used for hygienic purposes. After installation, taps, sinks, and toilets should remain protected to ensure they stay in a clean and undamaged condition internally and externally. During construction of a new healthcare facility, the water system should be dry until the commissioning phase. Stagnant water can lead to germ contamination of tanks and pipes, which can affect water quality. Services should be installed in accordance with current guidance and should provide ease of access for sampling, maintenance, cleaning, and space for any future building or system modifications. If there isn't enough space, then there is a risk of damage to existing materials when attempting to undertake any retrofit works. Damage to water systems can cause issues such as slow leaks, which can lead to the growth of germs, or a drop in water pressure, which may result in backflow of contaminated water from elsewhere in the system. Water ingress and leaks are a hazard during construction, refurbishment, or maintenance works. Where it may be typical for these to occur on non-healthcare sites, in healthcare facilities they should be avoided at source wherever practicable, as they may provide hidden opportunities for germs such as moulds to grow. Sometimes issues such as this aren't recognised until it's too late and patients have become seriously unwell as a result. Mould may start growing and spreading in as little as 48 to 72 hours of water damage occurring. Advice should be sought from the local IPC team to ensure any clinical risks have been fully considered and included in the rectification process. All staff on site, including the installation contractor, should report observed leaks or water ingress inside the building from any source, and a system should be in place to record this and ensure rectification is managed. Issues should be investigated urgently and rectified immediately, and any remaining water should be removed to help prevent the growth and spread of harmful germs within the environment. Adherence with best practice guidance, along with continued vigilance from all those involved in healthcare construction, refurbishment or maintenance, is essential to minimising hazards and providing a safe healthcare environment for patients, staff and visitors. Infection prevention and control is everyone's business. Thank you for participating in this training session. If you would like to provide feedback or to get more information, you can contact us via our email nss.rhica@nhs.scot. We want to thank our colleagues from across NHS Scotland for their invaluable input and feedback into the development of this training. NHS Education for Scotland, NES, and the Clinical Assurance Oversight and Advisory Group members.
This animation was designed by NHS National Services Scotland's Creative Services team. If you have any questions about the copyright or using imagery in this video, please contact nss.creativeservices@nhs.scots.